I'm Dr. Brad Ingrao, hearing aids expert for SeniorLiving.Org. In this video, we're going to talk about what each of the major manufacturers are best known for. Over the last 30 years, I've had the opportunity to fit hearing aids from all of the major manufacturers. I can say with good confidence that for almost all of my patients, any of these companies will provide a really excellent solution. That being said, each one kind of has its own little special place in my decision tree, so let's take a look. We're going to talk about these alphabetically so that there's no suggestion of preference. The first company we'll talk about is ReSound. The original technology for ReSound's hearing aids actually started way back in the 1980s in California with a company called ReSound. This company used some technology developed by Edgar Vilcher at AT&T Bell Laboratories to automatically adjust how much amplification would be produced by a circuit based on how much sound was coming in. We call this wide dynamic range compression, and they were the first to market with it, and it's really the fundamental technology for pretty much every hearing aid. But that's not really what they're best known for. What they're best known for is using a very stable long-distance radio communication technology called 2.4 gigahertz to connect their hearing aids to things like remote microphones, TV streamers, and remote controls. This technology's been around for quite a while in the ReSound family, and they've done a really good job. Based on their experience there, they were also able to become first to market with made-for-iPhone hearing aids. So when it comes to wireless connectivity, that's one of the things I always think of when I think of ReSound. Alphabetically next, we have Oticon. Now, Oticon has been around since 1904. It's a very old company. It was originally founded by DeMont, who had a deaf wife, and he wanted to create products not only to help his wife, but also to help other people. Oticon is well known for its altruistic work through the DeMont Foundation. They have lots of research and development, and they're also a big partner of something called the AuD Institute, which really looks not only at the technology, but how we integrate that technology into people's lives. More recently, Oticon was one of the pioneers of something we're calling BrainHearing now. And the idea behind BrainHearing is, rather than the hearing aid trying to decide what signal you might want to listen to, let's give you a really accurate picture of all of the sounds around you. And by doing that, your brain can filter much closer to how a person without hearing loss does it. So when I think about Oticon, I think about BrainHearing. I also think about their altruism. But another thing that most people don't think about who watch this website is Oticon is one of the leaders in pediatric hearing care. So they have lots and lots of specialized product and services for kids. So maybe your hearing aid will be from Oticon, and maybe your grandkids will as well. Next, alphabetically, is another company that really has done a great job with kids, and that's Phonak. But what Phonak is really known for is being an early pioneer in using directional microphone technology to help people separate the speech they want to hear from the background noise. That's a really important thing because the majority of people hear pretty well in a quiet room with their hearing aids. But when you get into that noisy cocktail party or restaurant, things are real challenging. So Phonak has been a leader in that. They've really pushed the envelope as well with some of their remote microphone technology, specifically the Roger technology, which really provides optimal separation of speech and noise. And because of that, I always think of them for people who have really hard problems in those background noise situations. Next on our list, we have Signia. Now, Signia is an interesting, sort of newer brand, but not really that new. Signia is the brand of hearing aids made by a company called Sivantos, And Sivantos was actually part of Siemens technology. So everybody knows Siemens. If you've ever been in a hospital, they make MRIs and CAT scanners and all kinds of really, really sophisticated medical technologies. For many years, they also made hearing aids. But as part of a restructuring to allow the hearing aid company to be more agile in the marketplace, they created Sivantos. And because of Sivantos, they needed a different brand, and so Signia was born. What I really like about Signia, and one of the things that I kind of think of first with Signia, is they've done a super good job with rechargeable hearing aids using lithium-ion technology, and they were some of the first to come out with inductance charging, and they even provide this rechargeable technology for people who need very, very powerful hearing aids. So when I think about I want a person to be able to use a good quality hearing aid, but they're really having a hard time with those batteries, oftentimes I'll think Signia because they have a really good rechargeable system. The other reason I think about Signia is they have a very, very extensive dispenser market in South America. Now, I'm currently in Seattle, but prior to that, I practiced in Florida for many years. And a lot of my patients actually had family members or they themselves traveled to Central and South America quite often. So if I needed to provide them with a contact person who could help them out with their hearing aid if they needed it while they were home, Signia was one of my go-tos for that. Next, we have the company that's really the only American hearing aid company left these days, and that's Starkey. Starkey was founded by Bill Austin in Minneapolis. And I'll have to say the thing I think about most with Starkey is innovation and pushing the boundaries. They were really one of the first to say, you know what, it doesn't really matter what has traditionally happened in hearing aids. Why don't we look outside of the hearing aid industry and start to see some of the other technologies that our patients might be using? And so in their current line, the Livio line, they have some technology that was borrowed from things like wearables. So instead of having to wear your sports tracker on your wrist to count your steps, your hearing aids can actually do that. And instead of having to have a monitor for your aging grandparents or parents in case they fall, their hearing aids can do that. So when I think of integration of non-hearing aid related technologies for the betterment of people's overall life, I often think of Starkey. They're also very altruistic, and they have a foundation that provides a lot of free hearing aids to people all around the world, including in the United States. So for both of those reasons, I think of Starkey. Last on our alphabetical list is Widex, and Widex is another Danish hearing aid company. Really, really interesting company. First to market with digital hearing aids way back with the Senso hearing aid. But they've also been a company that I think of very often for musicians. And one of the reasons is they have been very, very focused on making their digital processors extremely fast and extremely energy efficient, which allows them to actually process much more sound in what we call dynamic range, which provides people who have to listen to loud sound, like musicians, a very, very clean signal without a lot of artificial distortion. They have great products for mild all the way through profound hearing loss. They provide connectivity to iPhones. They provide accessories for other cell phone users as well, and they have compatibility with a lot of the other technologies that other companies like Phonak uses for that, Roger. But really, when I think about Widex, what I really, really think about is that super clean signal and the ability for musicians to use those hearing aids, not only to hear speech really well, but also to be able to use their hearing aids while they're performing. Now, all of that said, as I said earlier, pretty much all of these hearing aid companies will do an excellent job for you. And it's really up to you and your hearing care professional to sit down and look at your hearing test results, but also look at all of those other lifestyle parameters that might lean you in one direction or another. So have a conversation with them. Also, come over to our website and look at our reviews. We have a staff of writers and myself who periodically update those reviews to try to make sure that we're always giving you the information on new products. And I feel confident that one of these major manufacturers is going to be able to find you a really good solution that not only helps you hear the words, but also music and all of the other things in life. Well, that's about it for the major hearing aid manufacturers and what I as a clinician look for in each one. Please visit our website to find out more information about each of these manufacturers and specific products that they offer, and we will continue to update this information as new products and services come out. Thanks very much.